sky is so pretty. Look at that shit. That is gorgeous. It gets harder when it gets darker. It's looking good, looking good. I'm gonna need light for this. Good Lord. What do hell? Oh, did you take my whiskey? No. Yar. And here we are. Oh, wait. I never got light. Nah, fuck it. How y'all doing? That good, huh? Glad to hear it. Starting to get a little bit chilly out here. Have to go throw a layer on. My poor hands. One person. Never enough people to do a vote. Yo, 5 people. One of y'all. Just one of y'all. You should tell me what I should play tonight. Banjo or guitar. It's your choice. First one to tell me gets it. That's it. All you gotta do is comment. Or we can do like a hit a like right now if you want me to play banjo. And then we'll wait 1 minute and then guitar if you can't type for some reason. I don't know. You pick banjo or guitar. Banjo or guitar. One of you has to say something. One of y'all pick or the hat gets it. Nobody wants to pick. You get to affect my life and future, and you're choosing not to. Quite odd. There are 7 people in here. Not one of y'all can say one or the other. Yo, here's what's up. I'm about to go play music. And y'all get to pick. Do I play banjo or guitar? First person to say anything wins. And that's what I play tonight. Or at least what I start with. I don't know how long I'll be playing. Banjo or guitar? No, but man, fuck you two. Yo, pick what I play tonight, banjo or guitar. You have an opportunity to affect my life, even through passing. All you have to do is say banjo or guitar. Or like for guitar and leave for banjo. I don't know. There's 6 people here now. If it goes back down to like 1 or 2, I'll just consider that banjo. And if I get a bunch of likes, I'll consider that guitar. Don't fucking hit that like button. Nobody has voted. I should make an actual vote thing. Do 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 do. Poll. Oops. Did just write the word. There we go. Oh, wait. I see what's going on. Which instrument should I play? Of course it can't be. Guitar. Start a poll. Vote. 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 I can't play both at the same time. All right. Hell yeah, we got one vote. Thank you, whoever you are. That's turning out nice. Holy stop. What are you crying for, bro? What? What? What do you want? Not that. I spilled that on my head. I love you. I love you, Amy. What do you need, dude? Why are you grumbling? Do you have to go to the bathroom? You want to go potty? Or are you hungry? The food's right there, dingus. Come on. I'm tired of sewing already. I want this hat to be done. So close. I don't know if this isn't going to be enough string. That's irritating. That's okay. It'll be good enough to wear tonight. And then I can finish sewing it. Never. Oh, come on. Some of these holes didn't punch very well. Hey, stop it. Oh, stop. Stop it. Don't be a dick. Stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. Hey, don't talk shit. You can't back it up right now, dude. Chill. Hey, lay down now. Stop it. Lay down. Now I gotta find some more string. Oh boy. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, drill press. Hole punch thing. This is where we're at so far. It's got that little portion to finish up. It's gonna be bad as hell. Yeah, buddy. Excuse me while I refill my flask with juice. feel about as much as I got on that. You know, gotta be willing to break a few eggs. Like an omelet. Oh. Don't need a piggy. Oh. I think this is the same color. Yep, it's about the same. It's kind of like an orange. Yo, what up? Who are you? Cobb Mountain Woodwork. What up, homie? How you doing? You been working on any cool projects? You got a vote in my poll. Drop a like my way if you can, brother. Ah, there we go. Wild to me. We're like right next to downtown, and there's somebody that just has chickens. I don't even know. It's like a condo. Super weird to hear roosters crowing 2 a.m. in the middle of downtown. Oh, it's fucking chilly. Voted banjo. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm hoping wins. I'm gonna grab another layer. I'll be right back. I want to be able to have this hat ready in time so I can wear it. when I go busk. And or try to sell it. If I can sell it, I will. Got to get some money to pay for the gasoline to get my shop on down the road. Well, actually, right now, I more need to kind of figure out what's going on with her. By my shop, I mean my truck shop. It's a combination effort. I'm sitting at my tailgate right now. But that is all she do. It says I only got one person watching. Is that still you? My woodworking boy. Likely not. Ah, so close. This got a lot harder when the sun went down. Oh, it is you. You are back. Or still here. Hell yeah. There's, when I'm not doing something, I'm usually watching somebody do something on YouTube. So I like to stop by and sometimes check out the people that are doing shit kind of like what I'm doing. But I have too many hobbies. My YouTube algorithm is it's got its work cut out for it, you know. I do leather work, a little bit of jewelry, not so much anymore, but like I have a bunch of really nice rocks because I really like rocks. I love rocks. I love cutting rocks. But the jewelry aspect, I really like to make things out of stuff that I can harvest from its starting point. Like I have this obsession with like, can I do it from the beginning, you know? And so I like to cut my own wood down, you know, or find wood that's already downed and good and seasoned if I can, because I'm in California where it barely rains. So like a lot of the wood that you find that's already down is like, if it's been down for a few years, it's not going to be ruined. Sometimes it doesn't even have bugs, and so that's pretty cool. But when it comes to jewelry, I don't really until I can find a whole bunch of my own silver and gold, you know. I recycle too. That's another big thing. Obsidian. I thought that obsidian only came from like around Mount St. Helens area, but I could totally be wrong. That's awesome though. I love obsidian. That's because especially the fact that it's like I'm really into sharpening and like sharpening blades of all kinds. And it's physically impossible to get a piece of steel even like 1/10 as sharp as a piece of good slice of obsidian. It's like that's awesome. Yeah, volcanoes. Hell yeah. What volcano do you live near? There's technically a bunch just north of where I'm at. I'm in Chico, California. So like, uh, well, Mount St. Helens, I think isn't there in Washington or something? And then there's Mount Lassen. I don't know if that one was a volcano. I don't know. There's a ton of mountains around here, and some of them are volcanoes. I mean, I bet volcanoes are like that's probably where I bet you, I bet there's more cool stones near volcanoes than probably anywhere else. Much more brittle. Oh yeah, Cobb Mountain. Lassen is a volcano. Hell yeah, that's real close to where I'm at. I'm pretty sure. Um, I think it's the closest mountain. But what was the other thing you said? Oh, the brittle. The brittle. I was just telling somebody about this the other day when it comes to knife steel. Like you're trying to find that like because the more brittle you go, the sharper you can get it, and the longer it'll keep its edge, the harder it is to sharpen typically. But it's also more likely to break if you give it the wrong twist or whatever, you know. And so like finding that little golden middle ground where it's gonna hold an edge and stay sharp, and it's also not gonna break on you or chip too easily. Like that's that's the goal. I make a bunch of knives and stuff too. I'm in the process of kind of cleaning my truck so I can find that type of shit. But I just put all that in one box back there. I got a whole bunch of different types of steel that I've been saving for making blades. I got a couple. I got like one that's probably like a saber is what it looks like. I have a couple like machete looking ones, and a few like buck knives cut out ready to start. The ones I've finished, I got those stashed up in the work box. Only 3% is good, but geez, even 1% is scary because if it were to, isn't that the type of shit that would like wipe out? I mean, everything would be black for like a year or something if that were to go off. Probably in all of North America. Is that one of those like that seriousness or? Yeah, yeah. My buddy Bob actually just tried to give me like a handful of circular saws, and I was like, "Look, man, I don't have room for all that. However, we should test them." And it turns out they all had like brand new blades. But I was like, if you're not gonna use them, then if they have bad blades on them, we should take those and just make a ton of knives. But I still have a stack of like probably 4 or 5 saw blades that are missing the carbide chunk at the tip on a few teeth. So it's like you can't fix it at that point. If they're the ones that have those carbide teeth, I guess you could if you have welding shit and all kinds of scrap metal. But I'm just thinking it seems really thin to me, you know. Of course, all my extra blades are like I don't know, 7 inches, 7.5 or 7.25, whatever. You know, they're not huge. I have like one 10-inch blade that's used up, and it's a diamond blade from a tile saw, but I still think it looks like it would make some nice knives. I'm really big on like trying not to have any waste, you know. So like I look for like when I'm making arrowheads, I look for like the perfect shape that I can make where it's gonna make as many as possible and have as little waste spots as possible, you know, because I don't like wasting good materials. I like to think of everything as if it's already the apocalypse, because for me it kind of is. I live out of my truck. and I'm too goddamn autistic to have a boss, so I have to work for myself. Making shit like this. Except the problem with being who I am, I'm very personable if you start the conversation. If you're a stranger, I'm not starting the conversation, you know? So I'm really bad at sales, is what that means. So I'm real good at making shit, and I'll stand on the street corner and scream my opinions with a guitar or a banjo all day long. And I have a hell of a voice on me, so unfortunately my phone is incapable of actually recording my music at the moment because I'm a little loud, and it just cuts. It just goes to nothing when I try to sing. When I busk, you can hear just like that's awful. So I've been looking for a way to be able to record audio on while I'm doing YouTube live and shit, because busking's fun, and when there's nobody there, like zero audience, it's not as fun, right? But if I have zero audience there and there's 2 or 3 people watching on here, that's an audience for me. I'll play for one person. I don't care. I just don't want to play to just myself, because it's like I can do that at home. And by home, I mean the back of my truck. Which can move at any time. Downtown chickens, what the fuck? Oh, it's so close to being done. I just got like this last 3 or 4 inches. Long time ago. Oh, see, here's the thing. Here, let me show you. I'm in California, right? But I grew up in Tennessee. And so I try to ride the Southern boy kind of vibe, like not redneck so much, not white trash, like Southern boy vibe as hard as I can. And I've always liked making things myself if I can help it. And so, like, when I got my truck, you can see that the front's all fucked because I tried to add this thing, a tarp with zippers. I gotta redo that, but I made this whole part out of wood that the front on both sides flips open. It has hinges, and so this is the side of the truck that is up against the sidewalk when I go bust. So when I pull up, I can actually just pop this open and have like my leather workout for sale. And then I don't know if you can see that, but like I got my Venmo sign. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's a mirrored image of me playing the banjo, burned into there with my laser engraver. And so I do laser engraving and stuff, and yeah, there's like antlers. I made a bunch of guitar mounts out of a slice of wood, and then putting those pieces in. And that one's actually in there with a safety because I don't want it to fall off while I'm driving. But yeah, I ride the Southern boy vibe hard to where people are like, I'm in California, so it's an extreme other direction, because everybody else here is like real concerned with their image and whatnot. And so, no, I don't get hassled in the truck. Like, I actually get away with shit because of the truck quite often with cops. First of all, there's the fact that the tailgate's there, and I always have like a bunch of sheets hanging down just so I can stop the cold from getting in when it's the winter. But it also covers up my license plate when I have the tailgate down. So a lot of times they just don't even ask. But I don't have any warrants or anything, so anytime I talk to them, they kind of get it more than most people in this town. Honestly, they're like, yeah, Tennessee, and he's making shit out of wood, and he has a lot of tools. It makes sense. But I also have a whole bunch of friends. This is the town that I was born in Chico. That's why people call me Chico. It's kind of weird when I'm here, but if I just drive for an hour, people calling me Chico is not weird again. But like, this is the only town where I can be hanging out, meet somebody, and they'll be like, "What's your name?" And I'll be like, "Chico," and they're like, "What's your real name?" Anywhere else in the world, it's accepted. People are like, "What's up, Chico? How you doing?" Hate being here. Yeah, it is a college town. It used to be for the longest time. I don't know what age you are, but if you're probably Generation X or a boomer, you would know Chico as the number one party college in America. I think it was for like 10 or 15 years running. I'm pretty sure that was like in High Times magazine that like that got popularized. But now they're not even like allowed, the frats aren't allowed to drink even. So like the parties are less obvious. It used to be the kind of shit where like if you were having a boring Friday night, you could just walk down through the part of town where all the fraternity houses are, and you could just walk into one and be like, "Sup, dude? I'm bored," and they'd be like, "Word, let's party." You know, that doesn't really happen anymore because now I don't know why they even have houses for their frats now. It's like that was what you did there, but also it got bad in the sense of like things like trigger warning, date rape started becoming issues because bros. 46, yeah, so you'd probably recognize it. Yeah, that's Generation X, right? Hitchhiked through there in the late 90s. Hell yeah, dog. Dude, when I was a little kid in the 90s, I was born in 1990. I remember my dad telling me stories about when he was in college, and it was like it sounded like it sounded like this was the dying, this was the last little bit. Like he was like telling me about when he hopped a train and ran into these hobos that were hopping trains still, and it was like they would tell you stories about back in the golden day of it and shit. And it was like, so by the time I grew up, I was uh, God, I hate that song so much. Um, I don't even remember what the hell I was just saying, dude. Big cock stars, fucking douchebag, threw me off. Oh, hitchhiking. Yeah, I started hitchhiking when I was uh, like 21, 22. I think I was 22 because I hung out around Tennessee for like a year after I was able to drink, and then like did that too much, and then uh, it was coming around my birthday. My mom was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I had just had had my girlfriend at the time. Her dad found we'd been best friends for years, but he found out that we kissed, and he was like, "You're never allowed to see him again." Uh, Fucking broke my heart, but at the same time, I had this other chick that was showing interest. I was like, "You want to go to California?" And she was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was like, my mom was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, 2 bus tickets to California, knowing full well I was going to be homeless when I got there. And I brought way too much shit, just like too many clothes, fucking random shit that I didn't need. Ended up having to ditch like so much of it. And chick ditched me, started fucking some other dude, and I was like sitting on the corner, just like fucking crying my eyes out, being like, "This did not work how I thought it was gonna work." I didn't know how. I didn't even bring a fucking guitar, dude. I didn't know that like busking was gonna be like what my bread and butter. At that time, I ended up getting a guitar later on and starting to have a good time. Traveled all across the West Coast, up and down, back and forth, left and right, all of California and Oregon and Washington multiple times. Uh, and like just for like a year, I was doing that, and it was super fun. Yeah, dude, Oregon coast is super sick. Um, but yeah, I was in Santa Cruz when I did, because my dumb ass was like, that's my favorite place I've ever been on a vacation, where my aunt lives, and I figured also my aunt might save my ass if I was in too deep or whatever, you know. Nope. She was like, "Oh, you're homeless." And my whole family kind of did that, and then they did the same shit when I came back to Chico, like not on purpose. Like I went down to Southern California, like in 2020 or 2021, I think, to pick up a school bus that I had bought from a friend of mine, and she was in Slab City with the bus, and I went to go pick it up, and it was a Friday night when I bought that thing, and that I went drove from Slab City to San Diego, right outside Mission Beach. I was parked like right across the street from SeaWorld, basically, and there's gravel area. There's no reason there should even be a fucking cop out there. But I was parked there wiring up. The sun was about to go down, and I wanted to get my solar plugged up on this fucking thing. And I got it plugged up. So I wasn't even driving. I was parking on the side of the road, and cops walk up to the car, or the bus. It was a 39-foot Thomas school bus, and they walked up to it, saw it didn't have a license plate on it, and they were like, "We're impounding it." Dude, they didn't even give me a ticket. They didn't give me a single piece of paper that said they talked to me that night. They just took my shit, and they were like, you can't have anything that's in here either." And I was like, "Whoa, no, call your superior, because you can't leave me destitute. I don't even live in this state. I live in Oregon." I was like, I live in at the time I was living in Hood River, up on the northern border, and yeah, that shit was wild, dude. So their lieutenant came, and he was like, "Well, because you told them you have a weapon, they are afraid to let you go in." And I'm like, "Yep, they couldn't even. I'll let you on. I'll hand you my shotgun. I'll tell you where it's at, so you can go grab it, and you know I'm not gonna shoot you. I just need." They were like, "Well, we can just hand you what you need." I was like, "Dude, here's the problem. That backpack that's in there, you know what it's full of? Clean socks. I don't need 47 pairs of clean socks if I'm gonna be homeless on the fucking street. And I do need that backpack. Problem is, I need tons of other things that are just. I was living in this thing, you know, like, yeah." I had bought it, and I'd brought everything I owned with me to go buy it. So like, it was messy. Uh-oh. I don't know what to do here. Got a little extra. Might just have to bunch it up. I hope I'm at the back side. Yeah, it is the back. Hell yeah. Looking all right. I still haven't even, since I sewed any parts of these yet. I checked with just the sweatband, and it fit around my head, but I haven't checked since, and I'm super nervous too. Hitched all around there, ate a bunch of LSD at the Oregon Tube around 97. 97's when I moved from Chico to Tennessee. That's funny. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I actually had a lot of fun in SoCal hitching though, but it, it was it was different than it is even now. You know, the whole what do you call that? COVID thing kind of really fucked people up, man. It made people not want to socialize, not want to talk to strangers. Uh, it put us all in our little bubbles a little too much, I think. And so made, I don't know. Also around the same time, I stopped being a cute little boy and started being an adult who is on the street and people don't think that shit's cute anymore. I used to get, when I was young, dumb, and full of cum, I used to get people, ladies all the time would bring me back to their house and shit, and that just doesn't happen anymore. It's like being a musician, it it takes care of you. I know it always will, but good lord, used to take a lot better care of me. If you know what I'm saying. I'd kill a nun for a shower right about now. I think my favorite part of SoCal was Deep Creek Hot Springs, way out in San Bernardino, in the Mojave. I had a lot of fun there. It's getting chilly. Compressed air sprayer. Oh, like a paint, the paint guns for a air compressor. Like a bugs. The pump kind. Huh, that's smart. I have what I've been doing like for uh just a way to wash my, kind of like a hand washing shower really, but um it would work for a shower. It's just kind of small capacity, but I have a Camelback hanging up, and it's the kind where you just have to pinch the end and it sprays out, as long as you have the hose down at the bottom, you know. But it's empty right now. I stopped hanging out at the skate park here, which is where the water faucet is. I gotta drive like an extra 4 miles to go get to the next water faucet. Stupid. I've been working on. I want. So I have like, it gets not stupid cold, but it gets down to like freezing around here, and so I'm in a pickup truck with 2 gas tanks. So like, the gas tanks are that far under the steel the bed is made of. So it's like, you don't want to have a fire in the back, obviously, but so I'm real conscious about keeping it layers and whatnot. But I found this old smoker, and it's double layered metal, and it's got a door with a latch on it, and it's got an extra section under it, even without the legs on it, where it's like there's like 3 sections of steel, air, steel, air, before the bottom of that. And I don't even have the fire in there. I actually put a shelf in, and then I took a steel double layered canteen, turned that into a little stove, mini stove, and I put that up against the top of this thing. So there's like this much space between the bed and the fire itself. I made a little tiny uh, chimney for it out of like just tubing that's like that big, and it's only this big around on the outsides. The inside's pretty small, but it does an all right job of warming it up in here. But the, I mean, not well enough, because the whole bottom of the bed, which about 1/4 of this, like probably from here up to about halfway where the wheel goes. Like just this section right here is actually insulated. I insulated it with, there's this really good, it almost looks like rock wool insulation. And 2.5s. Oh, 2 hours southwest. Oh, hell yeah. Southwest of San Bernardino? Or was I talking about somewhere else? Oh, of Chico. Hell yeah. Really? That's funny. That's crazy because, like, most of the time, the people that end up even talking at all when I'm on live stream shit, it'll be like people that are in like Finland or something. They'll be like barely able to communicate with me and be like, I don't speak English. I'm using a translator app and it's really complicated or whatever. That's hilarious. It's actually super fucking cool though, because I don't remember. Were you the dude making? What were you making on live stream when I was talking to you on your live stream? Bandsaw box. I'm like, wait, what is a band? No, dude, my phone just recently like updated the keyboard or something, and now it's like everything I type, I feel it. I look like I'm probably an intoxicated baby, judging by my comments and shit. Things I have to type. Oh, like you used a bandsaw to make the box, not like a box that doubles as a, or like you open it up and it's a. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, this could be useful. Tell me of your bandsaw box. Oh man, I get a big old loop in this thing. That's no bueno. Ah. Do you just cut out the parts and like, or is it joint? Do you do like joinery? Do you have solar on the array? If not, how do you keep devices? Oh, I have an inverter, and for the most part, I just tend to, but like this is just a super nice flashlight that my buddy gave to me, and it's got Type C, so I can charge that with my cigarette lighter. I just bought an inverter, and I have a few extra 12-volt batteries that I've been meaning to buy some electrolytic fluid and, you know, clean those out, try that. But I don't have a solar controller yet. I don't have solar panels yet. I've just been kind of being real careful with my spending of power. And trying my best to get like the right uh, items that are, either rechargeable with their own batteries, or I do have a couple buddies in town that let me roll up to their place and like charge my spare stuff or my battery bank. That's how I am able to use some of my tools, um, like my Dremel. I have to plug that into a socket for like 110, and so I bought a battery bank on Facebook Marketplace for like 40-50 bucks, and that has plugs on it, so it can't like run my angle grinder or anything, but that's you can't get everything you want, I guess. But like I have a drill that's battery powered, and I can charge that using the wall plug thing on the battery bank, and then I have a angle grinder that's battery powered, and I have a soldering iron that's battery powered and rechargeable. Um, and then I have like power banks and stuff. Like this one's pretty good. I think it's like 20,000 mega amp hours or whatever. Yeah. And then I have another one that's like another 10 or 20, and that that charges my phone a whole bunch of times and stuff like that. Yeah, I bet, dude. If you're doing it in 97, that's well. Here's the thing: is like I have this like obsession with like the past, and like specifically like medieval times. A lot of what I do is like and I don't make a penny off of the vast majority of the shit I make. I just get away, I make the majority of my surviving money off my music, and and probably my dog. Just my dog being hella cute, that helps a lot. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have traveled after that 1 year at all if I hadn't discovered the difference between traveling and traveling as a musician. Like it kind of I have an addictive personality, so like alcoholism hit me real quick with that lifestyle, and had my time with cocaine as well, but Jesus, that's not affordable. But at a certain point, I found all the low spots enough to where I was like, hey, you know what got me through all those times and made sure I was never hungry, and I never never wanted for much music. And so at a certain point, it had to smack me in the face 100 times for me to realize it. But the love of my life is music for sure. I don't even write songs. I wish I could, but damn right. So I have this obsession with trying to make my electric tools like not electric, Um, so like right now I have this metal bar that has like a little bike wheel and then a bigger bike wheel on it, and I collect pulleys and gears and stuff. A lot of those gears I make into like really cool axes and like tomahawks and shit. But so uh, there's a bar and there's like a big wheel and a little wheel, and I just got like a bike pedal with the gears on it, and I have some bike chain, and I have a bunch of like belts. It's like full of belts. They're all different sizes. I have one that's big enough to go around both of those bike wheels, and so what I want to do is gear it to where it's like I can hand crank this thing, and I'm gonna try to mess with it to where it's like big gear to a little gear, but on the same shaft is also like a little gear running to, and so it's like I can do it easily and not a whole lot, and it'll fly is the goal. I watched some concepts on that before, and it looks interesting. But then I probably just need something heavy, like for a flywheel, which right now I just have like a round of wood that's just like screwed on there to the spokes with washers on the other side. And that is going to be, I also have it to where that round of wood can like, it has a hinge because it's split and there was a hole in the middle. So I'm going to have it be like a lathe kind of. I'm going to use the center of it. And I have a whole bunch of old chucks from old drills that weren't working that I found in the trash and stuff. So I love making tools. But yeah, the idea is to be able to have like a hand crank. Like if I had room, I would probably do one of those, what do they call it? Spring pole lathe, like they used to do, where you just take like a sapling tree of sorts and tie it up in the rafters in your barn or wherever. I probably could do that pretty easily. Oh, dude, I've gone through a few lathes recently. It depends on what you want to use it for, because if you're just like, I'd make these rings. That one looks kind of shitty, but that one's a little better. I make these rings, and I have this tiny lathe that's like, man, it's like this big, but it can only really do things about 6-8 inches long, because it's got this big, stupid, not big, but it's a little chuck on it, and just a tiny little live center thing that runs up to it with a couple wing nuts. Tiny little thing on a little piece of T-track. And I got that for like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon or Temu or something. That thing's awesome for doing little stuff like that. But like for anything bigger, I would like to be able to do arrow shafts on it. Yeah, bowls, man, bowls. Except bowls require all kinds of crazy tooling too. But I mean, I don't care. I have tons of scrap metal. I can make my own tooling if I have to. And that's my favorite thing about a lathe. The coolest thing about a lathe is that it's like the only tool that you can just. That's the only tool you need to build that tool. Like it can build itself. It can replicate itself. That's a cool tool. Like especially a metal lathe, where you can do threading and shit. If you have and you can build your own tooling using it too, which is pretty cool. I would like to make a lot of cups, like wooden cups, but like that's even harder than a bowl, because it's I think like the ratio of, to have something that's a solid enough arm with the cutting thing on the end of it that can go deeper than it is wide, and it not give enough to where it's shredding the inside of that basically and turning it into a useless thing that can't really, it would hold a little bit of whatever you put in it. No. Like you could probably do it, but it would require spending money for some of that steel probably, and I don't like spending money. I find things in the trash and I fix them. It looks like that's, I mean, there's this little fucky spot I'll have to do something about in the distant and possibly imaginary future. But I have so many projects that are just like, I got like 90% done like this, where it'd be like, that might be what stops me from wearing this hat, and so it could just end up in this pile of fucking half-finished projects that I have. If any of y'all want a hobby, I've been considering getting rid of some of mine. And shit, if you're that close, you're 2 hours away, I'll come visit you and just drop off all of my, I don't know, something, whatever hobby you want. Hell yeah. Best of luck to you, brother. I'm about to find out if this hat fits. Because if the hat don't fit, then you must up and quit. Ow, shit. I just stabbed the fuck out of myself. Usually I dull the tips of my needles, so that isn't an issue. Not today. Thank you, brother. Glad I could inspire you. Or I hope I inspired you. If you're gonna be doing it anyway, might as well stream it. Ow, fuck. I need to stop being in a hurry. banjo it is. Before I stop, I'm not finished, but it is done-ish. So, just so that it's recorded. It's a little tight, but it's suede. It'll loosen up. Yeah, buddy. Right. I might add something here so it stays stiff. It's like a hobo hat. Hell yeah. Maybe that's the back. Maybe it's gonna be. I don't know. Hell yep.